Good morning, Year 9. Aren't we living in strange times? I'm sad that we're not going to be together for a couple of weeks, but we're going to carry on with the work we would have been doing, albeit by video rather than in person. Now, I know that most of you've got your books in class, so I really recommend that over these next 2 weeks you keep your notes together. I'm hoping you've got some paper somewhere at home, and it would be really nice if you were able to bring in your work from these next couple of weeks, and we can then stick it into books so it's not lost. I think it's also good to be disciplined, and so every video I do will have a date and an objective. And today we're talking about the double bracket expansions we were doing before Christmas, and I want to show you some special cases and look at how we deal with those. So before we get to those special cases, let's just do 4 more examples of the expanding double brackets that we were doing just before Christmas. And I've got here another one of my families. Do you remember we talked about this at the end of last term? So I've got x plus 4, x plus 2, and then I've got plus 4 and minus 2, minus 4 and plus 2, minus 4 and minus 2. So they are very similar looking double brackets, but they have a very different answer. So I'm going to do the first one just to remind you. I always do them out in this grid, and it reminds me that I've actually got 4 things to multiply. Both of these things by both of these things. So x times x is x squared. That's 4x. That's 2x. And don't forget, I'm multiplying. 4 times 2 is 8. And I put the signs as well. Plus 4x, plus 2x, plus 8. I then peanut. And I've got 4 x's and 2 x's, which gives me 6 x's. So my answer is x squared plus 6x plus 8. So I'm going to pause the video at this point, and I'd like you to have a go at the remaining 3. Okay, so I'll let you have a quick look at that, see if you can see whether you got them right. So up here, I've got a 4x minus a 2x, which is why I'm left with just 2 x's. And because when I'm multiplying, a mixture makes a minus, that's minus 8. Down here, still a minus, because it's a mixture, minus 4 and plus 2. But when I peanut, I've got a minus 4, and then I add 2. Well, I was thinking my thermometer, if I'm at minus 4 degrees and I add 2 degrees, gets me to minus 2 degrees. And here, minus 4, and then I take away another 2, so that's why I'm at minus 6. And when you multiply a negative number by another negative number, the answer is positive. So those are the sort of ones we were doing before Christmas as a reminder. What about these special cases then? So let's have a new subheading, special cases, and there are 3 types that I want us to look at. So here is the first type. Just going to move my camera down a bit. There we go. So what does this mean? Well, if you see this, remember that what it actually means is x plus 4. Well, when we square something, we're multiplying it by itself. So that's what it's going to involve. So actually, it's very similar to the ones we've been doing. X plus 4 multiplied by x plus 4. So that's going to be x squared plus 4x plus 4x plus 16. Remember, we're multiplying, aren't we, at that point? And then I peanut. So I've got x squared plus 8x plus 16. So if you see a single bracket squared, it's actually a double bracket question. It's just both brackets happen to be the same. Okay, here's another special case. I have to say these are my favourite because these are magic. So it's a double bracket, so I'm going to grid it out as I always do. X times x is x squared plus 4x minus 4x minus 16. Don't forget we're multiplying plus 4 by minus 4, a mixture makes a minus. Now I'm going to peanut. And what happens when you peanut? I've got plus 4x's, but then I take away 4x's. How many x's am I left with? Well, I'm left with none. They disappear in a puff of magic smoke. So my answer to this one is just x squared minus 16. So this is unusual, isn't it? Because all the other double bracket expansions we've done have had 3 parts to their answer. They've had an x squared, they've had some x's, and they've had a number. But here we've got a double bracket expansion, which gives us an x squared and a number, but no x's. And that's because we've got the same number in both brackets, but one is positive and one is negative. Okay, and the final sort of special case is one that we've already met when we were doing single brackets. In fact, you could say, well, this isn't a double bracket at all. This is just x times x plus 4. So I know I need to multiply both things in the bracket by x. So x times x is x squared, and x times plus 4 is just plus 4x. And this I've included because it's similar to this and it's similar to this. It has an x squared and it has some x's. This one is missing the number that I've got up here. So although this isn't a double bracket expansion, it always gives us an answer which is similar to the other ones we get. It's just it's got the number missing. Now these expressions here have a name. They are called quadratic expressions. Now the word quad, or the prefix quad, is something we associate with 4. So you might have ridden a quad bike, or you know that quadrilaterals are shapes with 4 sides. But why do we call these quadratic expressions? I mean, they've only got 3 parts to them. Well, the reason is over here. When we expand a double bracket, there are always 4 answers, aren't there? It happens that 2 of them can be simplified, but we always get 4 answers. So that's why these are referred to as quadratic expressions. And although these two don't have the 3 parts that you get with that one, these are still called quadratic expressions because they've got the x squared, they've just got some of the other bits missing as well. So I'm going to ask you now to have a go at 3 special cases of your own. So see if you can expand this one for me. That's a bit like that one there. And then see if you can do this one for me. That's a little bit like this one here. And then see if you can do this one for me. Sorry, there we go. That's a bit like that one there. So have a go at those 3 special case expansions. Press pause and have a go. Okay, so the first one, which was a bit like this one, so we had to remember that this is actually the same as that. So I gridded it out, remembering that when you multiply minus 2 by minus 2, it's plus 4. When you peanut, take away 2x, take away another 2x's, so that's minus 4x. So that was your answer. Magic one here, because when you peanut, the plus 2x and the minus 2x mean you've got no x's. So you're just left with your x squared and your minus 4, because you've got a plus 2 times a minus 2. So that's minus 4. And then this was just a single bracket. So x times x is x squared, and x times minus 2 is minus 2x. So I've attached 2 PDFs to this homework. One is just a few more examples of this for you to try. And the second PDF is the answers to those, except for the last question. And I'd like you to take a photo of your answer to the last question and just submit it on class charts. So it's just one example of the work you're doing this lesson, just so I know that you're out there, that you're engaged, and I'll go through the answer to that in tomorrow's lesson. Hope you're well, and I hope you are able to cope with this. Drop me an email. I'm on mcooper@ilfracombeacademy.org.uk, like you are, if you have any problems. But if you could submit your answer to that question using the class chart submission function, that's really helpful. Thank you. Next video will be tomorrow.